And welcome in to Friday Take. I'm Devin Albertson, joined by Luke Sanders, just like it was last night on the broadcast for Bearcat Basketball. As Luke joined me last night for the broadcast as we did the Pitt State versus Northwest Missouri State basketball games last night. The women came up a bit short, played well last night versus a very good Pitt State team, though. Lost 73-62. And Luke, after sleeping on it overnight, what's your thoughts this morning on the Bearcat team and their game last night versus Pitt State?
Well, yeah, like you said, I know that they lost, but I think that they played really well, and I think that they can use that going forward for these last few games to maybe make a push to at least fight for that 12 seed in the tournament and maybe get a chance to get in and play and get a chance to play against one of those better teams. And just for the young girls on the team, it's just more experience, which is always good and really what they're looking for at this point.
Yeah, you're talking about right there, the younger people on the team like Jalen Haggard had 11 points last night. Didn't shoot great, but still was productive there with scoring. Mayava had 9 points for him. Kylie Coleman, 5 points, and they're starting for a second straight game. 4 points from McConkey. So they had some girls who had dicey games last night. But of course, Tanya Meyer played really well last night. 31 points, 7 rebounds. Did have the 6 turnovers, but she did shoot really well from the field and really kept them in that game late on, hitting some clutch 3-pointers. She went 5 of 7 from the 3-point line, so that was huge for Northwest last night to keep that game close. Of course, Pitt State, they had looks like 6 girls who scored in double figures who played most of their minutes. So there's a really tough offense to stop because they have so many girls who can score. They are the second best team in the conference. They're sitting at 13-3 in conference play, 2 games behind Central Missouri at 15-1. So they're a team that's very solid in conference play. They're sitting in the regional rankings right now in the NCAA. So they're a really good team right now. Northwest 2-14 in conference play. They're 2 games behind Missouri Western with 3 to go. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room here for the Bearcats.
Yeah, and they do have the tiebreaker with Mo West. So if they tie, then
so. And both teams have pretty much the same remaining schedule. Western has Pitt on Saturday, Northwest has Southern, and they both have Lindenwood Lincoln in the last week of the year. So they're going to need some help from Lincoln to upset Western for one game and Lindenwood, and also for those teams to fail versus Northwest. So Northwest needs a little bit of help here going down the stretch, but it's still possible for the Bearcats to make the regional tournament. And if they did squeak into the 12 seed, they would go to Nebraska Kearney for the first round, which they already took a double overtime earlier this year at Kearney. So
yeah, good matchup for Northwest.
Yeah, it'd be a really good matchup there. But they're also in a 3-way tie for third place with UCO and Fort Hays. So Hays not so much as a great matchup for Northwest. So just kind of depends on what happens there. But Northwest just need to take care of business and try to get to that 12 seed and just try to squeak into the MIAA tournament to end the season on a high note. We'll head over to the men now. Also, just want to remind everybody, last time was Pink Out. Saturday is senior night, so Melee plus Tanya Meyer will both be honored there before the girls' game at 1:30 at Bearcat Arena for their accomplishments. I tweeted this out last night. Tanya actually moved into 9th place in both rebounds and points last night in women's history, Northwest Bearcats. So congratulations to Tanya for doing that. She scored 31 points last night. I believe, depending on how well she does the last 3 games, if she keeps averaging like she has the last 5 games, she can get into the top 6, I believe, in Northwest history in points. So we'll see how it goes down the last 3 games of the year for Tanya and the team, because they need her to play well if they're going to win some of these games down the stretch. So,
sure.
But we'll go on to the men's game last night. Northwest was able to get the win 78-64 over Pitt State. Pitt State, it was a pretty chaotic game because they had that pressure going on. And, of course, their point guard, LaZoya, got technical. Their bench got technical as well. So a little bit chaotic last night at Bearcat Arena, but Northwest and the defense really helped them out win without Justin Pitts last night for the Bearcats. Chris Ibu-Window stepped up big time, 18 points and 11 rebounds, 13 points for Welty, 11 apiece for Kurth Wittes and Brett Doherty, and also 14 points for Ryan Hawkins. So the secondary pieces for Northwest really stepped up last night without the star Justin Pitts.
Yeah, I think that's a testament to Coach Mack and the culture he's put in around here. That it's, even though Justin Pitts is a lot of the offense, like it's more of like a team and a family culture. And so when one guy goes out, it's not like all of a sudden everybody panics. It's everybody steps up, does a little bit more, pretty much the same job, just a little bit more. And I just thought it was really impressive last night what Northwest did without Justin Pitts.
Well, yeah, you say there all the time. They just kind of adjust their roles. Usually it's Justin Pitts in the pick and roll, then every once in a while they'll post up Doherty and kind of let him go one-on-one. Now it's like we're going to let Doherty go one-on-one a little bit more, let him find people. They double down. He can pass out, of course. So instead of Justin Pitts just creating offense, they had to create a little bit more for themselves, and Endow can do that off the dribble. Wittes and Doherty can definitely post up very effectively. So that was really impressive last night. And, of course, when you have shooters like Ryan Welty and Ryan Hawkins on the outside, it really helps open up your offense a bit. It helps you can score when you have shooters who can knock down open shots. So that really helps the Bearcats as well. And Pitt State, they're a team that can score, as I said before the broadcast last night. They average 86 points per game on offense. They had scored 70 or more in every game this year besides 2. The first game versus Northwest, and last night they scored 58 at home versus the Bearcats and 68 last night in Maryville, 64, sorry. So they're a team that scored a lot of points except when they play Northwest, because Northwest is the best defense in Division II, so that's why they can do what they do against teams like Pitt State, who can put the ball in the hoop at a high rate under head coach Kim Anderson. And if you look at the MIAA standings for the men right now, Northwest sitting 2 games above Washburn and Missouri Southern with 3 games to go. So Northwest, with a win on Saturday, can clinch at least a share of the MIAA title. But it's coming against Missouri Southern, who is sitting right now tied for second with Washburn, and they beat Northwest earlier this year. And they're a tough matchup for Northwest, because to beat Northwest, you got to have guys who can make tough shots, and they have guys who can take and make tough shots with C.J. Carr and Elijah Clark.
Yeah, and one thing that's hard for Northwest, too, is Pitts doesn't really have a matchup in that game because a lot of the players are a lot taller than him. And, of course, Pitts takes advantage of his matchup on the other end, don't get me wrong. But, it's just hard for Pitts to guard somebody. But if he's at 100%, you know he's going to make a statement on Saturday. If he's recovered, it's going to be fun to watch. And people are going to want to show up. And you know that the atmosphere at Bearcat Arena is going to be great for that game. So it'll be a really fun game to be at. And I would encourage everyone to go if you want to see if you've never experienced Bearcat Arena and you want to know what it's like, Saturday will be a great time to see that.
Yeah, senior day should be fun. They got 4 seniors are going to honor there for the Bearcats, and Justin Pitts, Xavier Kurth, Chrissy Buendow, and Brett Doherty. And, of course, look at Missouri Southern. I believe, C.J. Carr, their point guard, is listed at 5'8", but he's a tough matchup because he's so dynamic of a scorer. It's a lot of pressure put on Pitts to defend him on one side and score on the other side of the court.
When we played them, Kurth guarded him.
Yeah, because you want to get him a little bit of a rest. There, you might put him on an ancillary piece like Corey Gilbert, who's 6'4", but he only scores about 5 points a game. And then you have post-up problems and stuff like that. So it's a normal problem Northwest has with Pitts, and that's the problem they'll definitely take because Pitts is so dynamic on offense. But as I say, Clark, he averages 16.5 points per game, and Elijah Clark averages 17 points per game, the 6'3" guard they have out of Edmond, Oklahoma. So they have some guys who was the MIAA Freshman of the Year last year in Clark. So I'm guessing Clark will get guarded by Endow, and they'll put Kurth on Carr, but it should be fun. They're right now 6th and 7th in the MIAA in points per game. So one of the best, probably the best duo in the MIAA this season in scoring. As Justin Pitts is 2nd overall in points per game at just under 20. Number 1 is Landsman from Kearney, who scores almost 22 points per game this year over there. So definitely a tough matchup from Northwest because, as I said earlier, Southern is a team that likes to take tough shots because they can make them. It's almost like Lincoln University the last couple of years with their guards they had there for a while, where they're just guys who could just like taking tough shots and making them all the time. And so it's hard to play better defense if you're just making them tough on them, and they just enjoy that intensity. So it's really tough to play defense against teams like that. But I know last night I had to work after the game at the Union. I was getting some food downstairs, and I saw Anthony Woods and Xavier Kurth down there. Talked to him for a little bit, and Kurth was like, "Pitch, you're playing Saturday." He's like, "Oh, I don't know." He's like, "No, that wasn't a question. I don't know why you think it's a question. You're playing Saturday." So Kurth thinks Pitt's going to play. We haven't had official word yet on whether Pitts will play or not, but I think that might be part of the reason for the 18 turnovers the Northwest had last night, which is definitely out of the ordinary for this Bearcat team.
Yeah, the team's just so used to Pitt's handling the ball, and I don't think it's that the guys aren't capable. I just think it's that they're not used to that role. Mm-hmm. And so I think that even Saturday, if Pitts for some reason didn't play, which I have no idea how bad the injury or anything like that is.
It's turf toe. It's really hard to tell the progress on it.
That can really speculate from like a 1 day to like a 2 weeks, so you never know. But I think that even with another opportunity without Pitts, they would still handle the ball a little better. But Southern would come out in a press
After seeing the game last night, they should. Yeah.
So
it's one of those things. Like I know Pitt State. We talked to Tyler Doherty after the game, and he was talking about, they came out, they were going to double the post because they saw what we did versus Washburn, going to the post so much without adjusting, and then we had to adjust off that and being able to get shooters on the outside as well. So it's a little cat and mouse game people do in the MIAA where you see what teams are doing lately and trying to adjust to what they're going to throw at you. And Coach Mack is really good at that, along with the assistants and getting the Bearcats ready for situations like that. So it should be a fun game on Saturday, 3:30 tip-off between Northwest and Missouri Southern, as it should be Northwest win it. They get the conference title for the 5th year in a row, and I believe the 4th year in a row outright. So Northwest just trying to keep their dominance in the MIAA going here, thanks to Washburn's loss early this week to Emporia State that really helped them out in terms of clinching the MIAA earlier than expected. And of course, Northwest, the regional rankings came out on Wednesday as well, and the Bearcats were ranked number 1 in the region, followed by Northern State, Southern Nazarene, who also won last night to clinch the Great American Conference with 5 games left to go in their conference play. So that just kind of shows they're undefeated in conference play, and the rest of their conference is just not very good. Southern Nazarene 3, St. Cloud State up in the Northern Sun is 4. Central Missouri is 5. They lost last night at Lincoln by double digits, so not a good loss there for Central Missouri. Southwest Minnesota State at 6. They were in the regional final last year. Washburn 7. Minnesota State Mankato 8. 9 is Missouri Southern, and then 10 is Central Oklahoma. So Missouri Southern battling for a possible playoff spot, and Northwest trying to get MIAA title. So a lot to play for there on Saturday.
And a victory over Northwest probably puts Southern in for good. So.
Yeah, 2 victories over Northwest probably put you in the region. I'm just assuming there. So definitely a big moment for each team. And if you look at Northwest, just everything that's on the line there on Saturday is why this atmosphere is going to be really fun between Senior Day, MIAA title, revenge versus Southern. I mean, there's just so many things going on in that game if Pitts is going to play or not. So a lot to look forward to tomorrow afternoon. Also, if you want to keep an eye on some other games in the region, on tonight, I believe Southwest Minnesota State is taking on Minnesota State Mankato. 6 and 8 in the region are taking on each other, and I believe Saturday St. Cloud and Northern State, the 2 and the 4 seed, are taking on each other as well. So a couple good matchups up in the Northern Sun to keep an eye on, and of course Northwest versus Missouri Southern this week as well. So a lot of good matchups that could shake up the rankings going to next week in college basketball. And of course this is the first of 3 weeks, so you'll have a game out the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th, and I believe the final rankings will come out for the bracket on March 4th. The Sunday after the MIAA tournament is concluded that night, so I think that's when they're going to release the final rankings, and then of course the regional tournament will be Saturday, Sunday, then the championship game on the following Tuesday in March. So, and hopefully this tournament back in Maryville, because that was really fun last year, and I believe that Bearcat Arena proved its worth last year in having a nice job hosting the regional. I know the first day was a little bit chaotic, but I think after that Northwest kind of got what to expect the next couple of days and was able to kind of control how many people they let into the arena, because that first day last year was kind of insane. People didn't really have anywhere to sit, and I'm pretty sure it was a fire hazard.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But no, I think that speaks to the NCAA too. That, like, if it's close, they might give it to Northwest because their attendance numbers were so good. Like you said, like they literally had too many people. They didn't know how to find people where they were going to sit. So, like, as a business, the NCAA is like, all right, if we can make it work, like, we're going to want to give Northwest. Because if you watch the other regional games that happened, there was no one there. Like, if you watch the other regions play.
Oh, yeah, I watched the East Regional Championship game. I think it was the St. Thomas Aquinas team Northwest played in the first round of the Elite Eight, and there was like 300 people total in the attendance. I know it was the 1 seed was bounced early, but still it was really sad. It's like you have 300 people there.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think is that, for one, I think Northwest will always be very competitive in their region with the people that they play. But also, even if they weren't, I really think people in Maryville would still show up just to watch basketball because, like, it's Maryville, Missouri. If you're not going to this basketball game, what are you doing?
Not a whole lot else to do in Maryville. So I know I'll probably be at all 3 days there for the Central Regional Tournament. covering or otherwise just watching basketball games, because I've watched a couple of these other teams play. I've watched Northern State play live against Northwest earlier this year. They're a really solid team. They got 2 real quality posts down low and a bunch of guards who can hit shots on the outside. So they're a real quality team. They've been rolling through the Northern Sun once they've gotten healthy as of late. I haven't seen Southern Nazarene, but St. Cloud, they're a team. They have a dynamic scorer in Gage Davis. We've seen UCM, Washburn, and all the MIAA teams. They're all pretty solid. Southwest Minnesota State right now, the 6th seed. They made the regional championship game last year, and they still had Bruggeman back, their point guard, who gave Northwest fits last year. So a lot of good quality teams, and as of right now, if the region started today, it'd be Northwest versus Minnesota State in the first round, and Joey Wittes just transferred from Minnesota State, so that would have been a nice storyline going forward, too, to see how many points he could drop against his old team. So, yeah, and I think there's certain teams that will be, if you look at some of the host schools right now that would be really good hosts, West Liberty in the Atlantic, they're a basketball school. They love their basketball there. They would host well. Northwest, Ferris State, I'm guessing they'll have a pretty good following over in Michigan, and we've seen them in football have a pretty good following as well. But like Lemoyne in the East, I think they hosted last year, and they got like 400 people for the championship game because they got knocked out early, and it was St. Thomas Aquinas versus like St. Rose, and like no one cared. And well, I think St. Thomas Aquinas in the first place, like they're like D2 basketball on the East Coast, because the East Coast is just not popular at all because there's other things to do.
Yeah.
And their like highest attendance the whole year is like 500 people. And they got to the Elite 8. Northwest is like, yeah, we brought like 2,000 people up from Maryville. So
in South Dakota.
In South Dakota, yeah. So a little bigger following, but like, so it's just kind of interesting to see everything going on. Like Lincoln Memorial right now is the host in the Southeast region, which by the way, that region is awful because you have Lincoln Memorial and Queens are both, they're 1 and 2 in the nation, but after that, it's just a pile of garbage. Like Carson Newman's the 4th seed. 2 weeks ago, they lost at home to Lincoln Memorial by 39.
Lincoln Memorial is really good, though.
I know, but you lose by 39 in your home floor, and you're the 4th seed in the region. It's not great for the rest of the region. Like, it's going to be Lincoln Memorial
what did Northwest beat the 3 seed by? Was it 32? 22?
Wait, who? This year? No, what?
Like the
Northern State?
Yeah.
Like 12.
I thought it was more than that.
No, it was a close game all the way through. Like, Northern State never really challenged, but they kept it close the entire time.
Who did we beat by, like... Oh, I'm thinking of the first team we played.
Lincoln Memorial?
No, Upper Iowa.
Oh, Upper Iowa, yeah. They blew them out. They're not very good this year. So, I don't know. Just interesting to see. Also, Northwest, they blew out Lincoln Memorial, too. And
we did.
Yeah. I know it was a 14-point game in the closing, but it wasn't a 14-point game. That was close to 30 in the second half before Northwest took the pedal off. So, just different things to look at there. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA and an All-Star Weekend starting this week and some of the other drama going on in the NBA next here on Friday Take. And we are back here on Friday Take. Devin Albertson with Luke Sanders. And it's time to talk about the NBA and the All-Star festivities this weekend as the first half, I guess they call it, the regular season, which is well over half, is done after last night's games as the Denver Nuggets defeated the Milwaukee Bucks by 11 and the T-Wolves took down the Lakers by 8 in the final games before the All-Star break. We're going to go to the All-Star game rosters. First of all, LeBron's team, 4 guys have been hurt since this team has been announced. Cousins, Wall, Kevin Love, and Porzingis. They've been replaced by Paul George, Drummond, Goran Dragic, and Kemba Walker. His other guys on the team, Westbrook, Oladipo, Beal, Aldridge, Irving, Durant, and Davis. And then for Steph Curry, his team is Giannis Antetokounmpo, DeRozan, Embiid, Harden, Butler, Green, Horford, Lillard, Lowry, Klay Thompson, and Karl Anthony Towns. So I think after the injuries, Steph's team might be better now.
That's because he knew.
Yeah, it's no injuries for Steph, and LeBron's team just gets decimated again. I'm kidding, of course, kind of. So who do you think wins the All-Star game that no one really cares about, but we're still going to watch because there's nothing else to do on TV besides the Winter Olympics?
I don't know. There's no way to like predict who wins the All-Star game because neither team is going to try.
7 o'clock on TNT Sunday.
Why are you even giving this like an ad time or whatever?
I'm just saying. The 67th All-Star game.
Everyone save your time. Go do something else. Anything else. Literally anything.
What else am I doing on 7 o'clock on a Sunday night?
I don't know. Playing in the snow.
It doesn't supposed to snow till like Tuesday.
Okay, well then watching literally anything else on TV?
I will watch this before I watch the Winter Olympics, but
That's un-American.
no, I just don't care about the Winter Olympics. I love the Summer Olympics.
No, it's still un-American.
I don't want to just watch my TV and just see snow and ice.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Do you like America?
Not enough to be dispersed by snow and ice.
Yeah.
I watch the Summer Olympics. I watch that religiously.
Why don't you move to Mexico where they don't care about or the Winter Olympics? And then in the summer you can move to Canada where they don't care about the Summer Olympics.
I love the Summer Olympics.
You can't just like one and not the other.
Yes, I can.
No,
that's exactly how this works. Yes, exactly how this works. Anyways.
You can either be American 100% of the time or 0% of the time.
Very American of you. The All-Star Celebrity Game is Friday night. It's tonight at 6 o'clock, ESPN. And the Rising Stars at 8 on TNT.
Who's in the Celebrity Game? Who's going to win the MVP?
I have no idea who's in the Celebrity Game.
Kevin Hart?
I believe that... who's in the Celebrity Game? There's one guy in the Celebrity Game that's like, well, this guy's just using it to try to get back on an NBA roster.
Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon's in there. Oh, T-Mac? Trace McGrady?
No, it's not
Nate Robinson?
Nate Robinson. I think he's he's just going to use the games to try out for the teams.
How'd they let Tracy McGrady and Nate Robinson get on the same team?
It don't seem fair. They also have Candace Parker.
The other team has no one I've heard of. They have they have Paul Pierce and Jason Williams.
Paul Pierce is trash.
Oh.
Overrated.
Are you being serious?
Overrated. I've just never been a Paul Pierce fan. I've never been a Paul Pierce fan. He's overrated. Like, he's good.
What is going on here?
He's
First of all, you're un-American.
Wildly overrated.
And now you don't like Paul Pierce.
No, why would you like Paul Pierce?
How is he overrated?
He made like one first-team All-NBA in his entire career. Like one first or second-team All-NBA in his entire career.
No one's putting him in the conversation for greatest player of all time. He's probably not even in the conversation for top 20. How is he overrated? He's just a great player.
Literally, people last week, he's the greatest offensive Celtic of all time.
Well, that's stupid because Larry Bird was there.
Yeah.
But most people don't feel that way. Just because one person says something stupid doesn't mean he's overrated.
People agreed with him, though. I was like, you could be kidding me.
Okay, well, anyone who knows anything about basketball that was on any sports show was literally laughing when they said that.
He's overrated. He's good.
He's really good. He is not the best offensive Celtic of all time. He's probably not even top 3 of that.
Probably. I don't know.
He's probably right around that 3 to 5 range.
Yeah, because you have Marjanovic is also really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who else? I don't even know any of the other guys on Team Clippers because it's the Clippers. Of course, they get all the crappy guys. Bubba Watson, I guess. Jason Williams.
Bubba Watson, dude. I want to see that guy play basketball. You think it's any good?
I mean,
you know he can shoot it from deep if he can shoot it because, like, all he knows how to do is throw something or hit something far.
So, it should be interesting to see how that goes for the Celebrity Game, which is always kind of entertaining.
My money's on Nick Cannon for MVP.
Nick Cannon? I'm probably going to go with...
you can't pick any of the NBA
I was
players.
going to pick Robinson because he's going to use this like an NBA tryout to try to get back
cheating.
on a team. By the way, the fact that they named Nate Robinson as an NBA legend on here, on this thing, is kind of laughable.
I don't know. He kind of is a legend. Like,
if you put NBA dunk contest legend, I would definitely agree with you.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's why like everyone will remember Nate Robinson from the NBA because of that.
It's almost like the other short guy who does the dunk, Muggsy Bogues or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to remember guys just because of that. Tracy McGrady, NBA legend and ESPN analyst. So
yeah, he deserves that one.
Yeah, he's really good. So yeah.
Do you think Tracy McGrady's overrated?
No. I think he just got hurt all the time, and that hurt his thing. That hurt his overall.
How is Paul? This blows my mind. I don't understand. He's probably a top 5 Celtic of all time in every category.
Probably
because
he's borderline.
Not really. Who do you have ahead of him? Bill Russell, Larry Bird. Who else?
I don't have the full list in front of me right now, okay?
If you have to think that hard, he should be 3rd.
Well, I don't have the full Celtics history in front of me either.
You should have it in your brain.
I should have it in my brain.
If you're going to argue that Paul Pierce is overrated, you should have this stuff ready at all times.
He was a punk. I just don't like him.
I know you don't like him.
And part of this is I am a LeBron fan. He always got in fight with the Miami Heat because he was a punk. And
you have to separate this,
mad
Devin.
that he wasn't talented enough to beat them. So after LeBron actually got some help and wasn't playing with Delonte West.
Delonte West is really good.
Okay.
Delonte West was very average. Good shooter, though. which is why he played well with LeBron. But anyways.
And LeBron's mom.
You have to be able... Devin, we don't go there. Not on the radio. Not at 9:30 in the morning. Come on, man. Come on. This is a sacred place.
Oh. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce is not overrated. You just don't like him. That's a completely different topic.
No, both can be true.
Or one is true, and you're using that to get to the other one.
It's highly overrated. I just...
Part
of it is frustrating because he's not athletic at all, and he's able to get a shot off every time, and it makes zero sense.
Okay, if the rating is...
Which should give me hope as an unathletic guy, but it doesn't, so...
Fair. If the rating is that he's the best offensive Celtic of all time, then he's overrated. But I don't think that's the majority rating at all. I think if you asked 80% of like sports people, they would all say Larry Bird, because I'd like to think that most people are smarter than that. But if the rating is he's like a top 5 Celtic of all time, probably top 3 or 4 offensively, then that's not overrated. That's all true. And there's also nostalgia with Paul Pierce because he stayed for so long.
Yeah.
Even when Boston was bad.
Yeah, he was there through the bad times too. So.
And so then when he stuck through and then they got good.
I think part of this is because the entire thing that he had, they didn't want Isaiah Thomas to have any tribute video during his night because he viewed himself on the same level as like Kobe Bryant, which I was like, no. He's
not to Kobe's level, but as far as Celtics go, he is on that level for that team.
That's okay.
And I think that's the biggest part of it. And that's probably why you don't like it, because you don't like the Celtics. You don't like Paul Pierce.
I don't like the current Celtics, which I don't know.
Or the past Celtics.
No, what's wrong with Larry Bird's teams?
Okay, that's like 34 years ago, and you never watched them play. You probably wouldn't have liked them either.
I watched the 30 for 30s. They played a fun style of basketball.
Okay,
Larry
Devin.
Bird with the extra pass, baby.
You probably would have cheered for the Celtics over the Lakers.
I do like Magic Johnson. I don't know who I would have cheered for that time.
Yeah, but the other team you would have absolutely hated, and you know it. It's like Golden State and Cleveland. You can't tell me Golden State's not fun to watch. You just don't
they
like
are fun
them.
to watch. They shoot a lot of threes. So does Cleveland, though. So does NBA. Everybody in the NBA right now.
Yeah, that's because of Golden State. But you just don't like Cleveland or Golden State because Cleveland plays them. So you would have picked one of those teams, and you would have hated them, and the other one you would have liked.
Which is why I have no idea what I would have picked back in the day.
Yeah. So that my point is, you would have either hated Larry Bird or hated Magic Johnson. Now you'd be calling him overrated over live air.
Okay. I may have called Kevin McHale overrated or someone like that.
Okay, Kevin McHale is overrated.
But he's better than Paul Pierce. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you shut your mouth with that.
If
If you're saying that Paul Pierce is unathletic and can't get a shot off.
McHale played in the 80s. Okay, it's fine. Just post up. Go to work.
Yeah, I always question how good those people would be now. Like, not McHale, because McHale would be probably...
He'd be okay.
No, not if he had to play in the rules of today's game.
Well, you also would have grown up in current... He would have adjusted his game.
Yeah, and he would have not made the NBA probably.
Who knows?
I'm betting against it. But, like, what about people like
He would
Larry
have been
Bird?
Zach Randolph without the extreme mean streak.
Or skill?
Ooh, I don't know about that.
He does not have the skill of... Stop it.
I love Zebo, but come on now. It's not discount Kevin McHale completely.
He does not have Zach Randolph's post moves. I'm not giving him that. Not against people that are like 6'11" and can jump. He had him against like 6'9" unathletic white people. That I don't give you any credit for that.
And there are definitely guys back in the NBA back in the 80s and the early 90s who just couldn't, who had no jump shot and were just there to beat people up and then go in the lane. Like, they wouldn't make it in today's NBA because you have to be somewhat...
Yeah, Kevin McHale's not quite at that level.
Yeah, and they're talking about some other guys. They're like, you have no other game
like
besides...
Bill Laimbeer?
Oh, Bill was... I think Bill could have played... Because he actually had a jump shot. Like, he couldn't play the way he played back then because he might get charged with a violent crime.
Yes.
But he still was a smart basketball player, and he had a jump shot and stuff. Like, he was still a good basketball player besides beating people up. Like, Rick Mahorn probably wouldn't have a whole lot of impact in today's NBA. Or, like, the guys who played for the Pacers down low.
Or basically anybody on the Pistons besides Isaiah Thomas.
The Knicks teams. With, I don't know, who's the guy who got kicked out of the Knicks game last year?
Oakley,
he would not be effective in today's NBA because he had no jump shot. And just
I don't know. I think he could still get in people's heads. He seems like a guy that knows how to do that. Which is kind of, I mean, that was Lance Stevenson for a long time.
He would be a very limited player in the NBA today.
Yeah,
Like, he played like 12 minutes a game. Like, okay, so all we can have you on the floor because you can't do anything else besides dunk.
He would be like the very beginning of Lance Stevenson, where the only reason he was in there was to mess with people. Now Lance Stevenson's actually good, and I don't know what happened.
Well, he left Indiana for a while and got really bad. Went back to Indiana, and something about that Pacers uniform, he just plays better. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got the celebrity game, and then, of course, the Rising Stars Challenge. Do you like Team USA or Team World here?
I like Team World. They just seem to have a lot more pieces than
Are you
Team
trusting
USA.
the process?
Yeah.
He's really good, and they have Simmons.
Actually, you know what? I'm picking Team USA because I'm American.
You're American.
And it's during the Winter Olympics. So Devin's probably going to pick Team World because he doesn't care about the Winter Olympics.
I like the process. I like Ben Simmons. Only thing that would make this better is, I guess, Porzingis is too old now. But yeah, Sabonis is a nice little player. But I like the guards better for Team USA because you have a De'Aaron Fox in there. Donovan Mitchell's really good. He's really coming on the show. Then you have Ingram and Tatum. So this should be a fun game to see how the Rising Stars. Who's your MVP for the Rising Star game? Just throw one out there.
Donovan Mitchell.
Dario Saric.
No.
Kidding. I'll go Embiid. I'll say he goes out there and has some fun out there and plays with the crowd a little bit and has some fun. So,
Lonzo Ball, even without playing, I think LeVar Ball is going to make it happen.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah.
You want to get into that? Everything LeVar said?
No,
Why?
because I don't
You brought him up.
give him airtime.
You just did.
Well, I'm not giving him extended airtime.
Should the Lakers take him serious when he says stupid stuff like that?
No.
But the stupid stuff we're saying, he said if they don't sign his two younger sons, that Lonzo will not re-sign.
If you look at it in depth of what he said, it's not near as bad as how it comes off on the surface.
Yeah.
But it's still stupid.
Yeah.
Like, he wants them to give him a minimum G League deal as a chance, which is, like, not that big of an asking, really.
Yeah.
Because, like, a lot of times if you look at the G League rosters, there are some, like, front office people's sons that get, like, a G League offer, and then they get cut before the G League starts, and that's just how it works. And if you tell me that for LaMelo, I'll give you that.
I think LaMelo is a borderline NBA player.
Yeah.
Here in a couple years.
Especially a G League contract. For LiAngelo,
Yeah.
that dude does not deserve to see a high school basketball court. He's trash. He might not play in Mountain City Class 1. Okay, I take it back.
Yeah.
He's overrated.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, the guys right now dominating the G League, leading in points per game, Antonio Belankney, Quinn Cook, Jaeger Munford.
You've heard of none of these people.
Tyron Wallace. You've heard of
Quinn Cook. That's the only one I've heard of.
Jonathan Motley, with 10 rebounds a game right now. Emil Jefferson, rebounding.
No, I haven't heard of these people.
Emil Jefferson played for Duke. Motley played for Baylor.
I don't care about Duke.
Duke's best school in North Carolina.
Bet.
I'm kidding.
Well, right now they are. That's true.
Lorenzo Brown, among others.
My point is,
Yeah, there's a
these
lot of
are the
guys-
best people in the G League, and you've never heard of them. So to give even LiAngelo a offer for a contract that they can cut him before the season starts is not really asking a whole lot.
And like,
If he made an NBA contract,
2 years too. So yeah,
yeah, that would be a little like, okay, just shut up, LeVar,
slow your roll.
but
Stay
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Yeah, like LiAngelo is in. I thought he was gonna be a 3 to 4 year college player in the first place. Like that's what he should do. I don't know
Yeah.
if LeVar would actually push him for that.
Well, the G League is pretty much college basketball.
That's fair. Yep.
The talent's not quite as deep, but the top tier, like if you watch them play, it really is like
you have
watching
guys who
good
can
college
float
basketball.
between G League and NBA and be on some
Yeah.
bottom of the rosters and go up and score a little bit. So there's definitely some of that. So I haven't really followed the G League a little bit this year. I followed it more in the past, just kind of see what players.
You only followed it when Jimmer was in it.
That's fair, and I like to do it just to make people mad that I'm actually following the G League. And
This is why he says Paul Pierce is overrated.
no,
It's-
it's completely
no, it-
separate. This is completely separate.
It
from
really is your
this
personality.
this
You
is
just
really-
do things to make specific people mad, particularly Jordan and me.
What's this about Jordan? I know he's a
You
Celtics
know
fan,
if he was here and you said Paul Pierce is overrated, he would be on you.
it's not like I'm saying Brad Stevens. I love Brad Stevens. He's a really good coach. Kyrie Irving is probably the best finisher as a guard in the NBA.
Yeah, but he was with LeBron before, so you can still say
Yeah,
that.
and then he bad talked LeBron. He wanted
Well,
out.
I don't-
If he wanted to bash anybody, he'd be the guy to bash right now.
But you can't because it's Kyrie. He literally the only.
I
thing
will bash
he's-
Marcus Smart because he's a terrible offensive player.
Yeah, but he's
and
a
he
great
flops
defender.
all the time. No, don't. He's a good defender.
He's a great defender.
He also flops.
He does flop a lot.
80% of the time.
You can flop and still be a great defender.
The game versus Houston was ridiculous when he flopped twice against James Harden to get those calls.
He did not flop the second time. That wasn't actually a foul.
Yep. Okay. I would never.
Okay, time out.
Here's
Hold
my
on.
thing. Here's my thing.
Let
Let
me fix this.
What?
He did flop. It was a foul.
Okay, but here's the thing. If I was reffing a Marcus Smart game, anytime he flopped, I would not call a foul just for principle that he flops all the time. You are not being rewarded. I don't care how I don't care if the guy puts his shoulder down. You're there for 3 seconds. I still won't call the charge because I'm tired of your stuff.
Okay, well that's why you're not an NBA ref.
It's
but
a little harsh, but I just get tired.
The point is that Marcus Smart might flop, but he always does it in smart scenarios. And more often than not, it's not to get the foul call, just to get the foul call. It's to get the foul call and make the other player really mad. And he is really good at instigating other players, and I like that. That's entertaining to watch.
You know what's also fun is whenever he's wide open for back-to-back threes and he still can't get close to making them.
Well,
people just kind of let him shoot.
No one ever said he's a shooter.
You're the worst shooter in the NBA, but he thinks he's a shooter, which is the best part. When you play against Boston, he thinks he's a three-point shooter, and he's not.
And then sometimes he just drains
He gets hot out of nowhere. It's
yeah.
What is this? What is going on right now?
And then you don't know what basketball is anymore.
You question everything in life, which I should probably do more often anyways.
Fair.
So I just not a Marcus Smart fan. But Horford's a fun guy to watch play. So there's pieces for the Celtics. I just don't think they're going to be.
Gordon Hayward's going to be really fun to watch with that team.
That's true. And Tatum has a bright future.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown will be an okay player. He'll be a nice role player for them in the future. I don't think he's going to be a star, but
nope. I think that their starting lineup within the next couple of years is going to be. I think Horford will probably leave, so it's really hard to predict. But when you have Kyrie and then Hayward and then Tatum at the first three, and then maybe Olynyk.
Well, they also have Olynyk's gone. They got Morris.
It's the same. It's okay. It's not Olynyk, but it's Olynyk.
Oh, the Antic or whatever. Baines. Oh, they'll start Morris.
It's literally the second coming of Olynyk.
They'll start Morris and then have. If Horford's still there, he'll start at center. So.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I don't think
they also have
there
Greg Monroe right now, so he's a nice guy off the bench. He can score. He doesn't play a whole lot of defense, but he can score.
He doesn't play it,
but
a whole lot of is a very pretty generous.
But also the Celtics, they play decent defense in the first place. They need someone besides Kyrie who can create a shot right now because Tatum's kind of hit that rookie wall.
Yeah,
so that's what they needed him. Hey, can you just score so we can get up to 100 points this game?
I think that Tatum will come back a lot better after the All-Star break. That's usually how that goes.
Get refreshed.
Yeah.
Usually these college guys come in the first year they've played 30 games of college basketball, and they come in the NBA, and it's we're in game 55 now. I got to figure out how to keep going through this and working your way through. Skills competition, who's winning it this year? You got Dinwiddie, Embiid, Hield, Horford, Markkanen, Murray, Drummond, and Lou Williams.
I'm betting on Embiid.
Trust the process.
Yeah. I picked against him in the Rising Stars, so I got to give him a second chance.
Since I was going to take Embiid, but I don't want to go just same. So I'm going to take Lou Williams. I got something to prove. It's in L.A. Let's go for the hometown kid with that one. 3-point contest. Beal, Booker, Ellington, Paul George, Gordon, Tobias Harris, Kyle Lowry, and Klay Thompson.
You know who I'm picking.
Definitely Wayne Ellington for the Miami Heat.
Who? Just kidding. North Carolina made. He was so good in college.
He was so well coached in college.
I actually hate you right now. If I show up next week, it'll be a miracle.
This has been a fun show. You're taking Klay Thompson, though.
I'm taking Klay Thompson. Yeah.
I'll take Eric Gordon.
Not bad. Not a bad bet. Wayne Ellington, though, could surprise some people.
It's just weird guys you just don't really you don't really think of, and they just come
in college. That dude was pure.
They're just specialists, and it's bang bang. He's hitting. See, this year he's shooting 38% from three, almost 39%. So it's not bad. Decent 3-point shooter. I'll take Gordon though.
Where do you get somebody how do you how are we we're gonna pick Wayne Ellington? You're
when you gotta go through guys okay, well, I don't think Corver wants to do it again.
Where's Steph? Steph, get in the 3-point.
Steph don't want to do it anymore. He's I'll let Klay win it. Why don't we just put Steph, Durant, and Klay in there, just those three, and just you three, just random shoot around. Just go out there, just start knocking down shots. First to hit rim loses. And
that might last a while.
Up next, the slam dunk contest: Oladipo, Nance Jr., Dennis Smith Jr., and Donovan Mitchell.
This is the most I've been excited for a dunk contest in a while because all of those people are really good. You don't have one random person where you're like, can they even actually dunk the ball?
There's like,
Or it's like
no.
Mason Plumlee last year, and you're like, it's a Plumlee brother. They're literally known for being the unathletic kid from Duke that somehow is good.
They get the put-back dunks, baby.
Yeah, a putback dunk is not a cool dunk in a dunk contest.
You have guys like Oladipo is super athletic. Larry Nance Jr. just flies through the sky.
Donovan Mitchell has had some crazy dunks already this year.
And Dennis Smith Jr. is super athletic for the Mavericks. I'm like, he's just a freak as well. So it should be a really fun contest actually this year. And of course, Mitchell, he's in for the injured Aaron Gordon, who would have been really nice for this contest as well because he's already won it.
Yeah.
So did he win it or did Levine win it that year? I think he got runner-up like back-to-back years, but he's been winner-worthy.
No, he won it. Didn't he win? No, yeah, you're right.
He's been winner-worthy a couple times. He just hadn't been able to get the actual
because
dub.
Levine pulled off like the craziest dunk I've ever seen. Oh, my.
Yeah, so it's been nice. It's not like you're seeing like, well, this guy might be able to shoot a basketball. We know he could dunk. Anything besides the dunk, we're not sure if he can actually do anything on the court.
I don't care if he can do anything besides dunk. I just don't want a Plumlee brother in it. That's all I ask. My wish has been granted.
But you love the 6'11", unathletic white guy who's the dunk contest.
The only big man that's ever performed well
Dwight.
is Dwight.
D12.
And well, Shaq, like a long time ago. Back when Magic Shaq.
Yeah, back when Shaq was skinny.
Yeah.
He could really move when he was skinny.
Yeah.
He was still pretty good when he was big, but
Yeah, he's like, I already won MVP and championship. I'm just going to start eating.
his burger looks really good.
He did eat. And then the boy ate some more dubs.
And, of course, all the skills challenge, three-point contest, and slam dunk contest is Saturday starting at 7 o'clock on TNT.
See, those are watchable. If you watch the All-Star game, you have a special place in my book, and it's not a good place.
I mean, if you want to see dunks and three-pointers, that's literally
It's one thing to see dunks and three-pointers when people are attempting to stop them. Otherwise, it's just a warm-up. It's literally just a really long warm-up.
It's fair. For Saturday night, will you watch the skills competitions and all that stuff, or will you watch North Carolina at Louisville?
I'll probably watch the skills competition. I've been watching a lot of basketball lately, and it's kind of got me off my North Carolina thing.
The basketball's playing well, aren't they?
Yeah, and it makes me so mad that they're not a tournament team on any of the projections because I don't understand it.
Trash.
I mean, they're 20-8.
Yeah, they're not bad.
And then you have teams like,
They play Illinois on Sunday.
no offense to Missouri, but then Missouri's like 20-8 or 19-8, and you're like 7 seed. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I know the SEC is a little better than the Big Ten, but it's not that much better.
The SEC beat the Big 12 in the head-to-head challenge.
That's the Big Ten.
I know, I'm just saying, but the Big 12 is usually considered one of the better
Well,
conferences.
the Big 12 is, first of all, I don't know how heavily I weigh the SEC.
I
Big
know,
12.
I don't either, but it was kind of weird because everybody went into that, like, the Big 12 might go
And also,
9-1.
I don't know how good the Big 12 really is because Oklahoma's not great. Kansas doesn't look great.
Kansas has a lot of weaknesses. Like,
Can-
Texas Tech is the best team in that conference right now.
I think Kansas will probably end up winning it, but, you know.
Don't say that. I don't want that to happen.
Well, they have Bill Self.
I know.
I'm not betting against Bill Self.
No. Another guy.
So I'm not going to put myself
He's
on
a guy
air.
that I really respect, but I can't stand his team. So I can compartmentalize with some of this stuff.
Barely. They literally have to be elite premier greatness for you to compartmentalize.
Not true.
True.
No.
Yes. Name one player who's like just decent that you can compartmentalize that they're a solid player. But I don't.
Like, I don't like Draymond Green, but he's really good. Like, I don't think.
Okay, he's not premier.
I can't stand, like, looking at Draymond Green when he plays basketball, but I understand that he's good at the game and what he does for the Warriors is really important.
All right. You've never said that before, though, so you just. Like, that's not fair to me. Devin has never once admitted that Draymond Green was good until right then, so.
Well, he's really good. He's a really good defensive player, and he can hit open shots, and he can create an offense. It just, I can't stand.
I can't
him.
stand watching 90% of the people play the NBA.
And then, of course, I don't like the other two bigs for the Warriors because they're just idiots.
Well, they're not good. I don't understand why they play Zaza so much over JaVale. Like,
That makes
they're
sense.
both stupid, but JaVale can actually do things.
He also sacked him to fool all the time,
Yeah, but
which is entertaining.
who cares? He can defend and play and rebound, which is the only things that they really need.
And throw him oops.
Yes.
Zaza, not so much.
No oops.
He just sets illegal screens.
Well, literally everyone in the NBA does that.
Yeah, but
have you ever watched Kyle Korver set a screen? Hold on. Have you ever watched Kyle Korver? He literally just grabs the guy as they go through.
It's a good screen. If you have a face like Zaza, you can't set illegal screens. It should be illegal.
Kyle Korver?
It's still better looking than Zaza.
That's debatable.
Oh, it's not. Zaza's the ugliest dude in the NBA.
Kyle Korver's right up there, dude. Have you ever looked at Kyle Korver?
I'm not saying Kyle Korver's a nice looking man. I'm just saying he's not Zaza.
I don't know. I've always considered Kyle Korver one of the ugliest players in the NBA.
Also, putting the fact that Zaza is 7'1" and uncoordinated.
Ladies like tall. I mean, 7'1" might be too tall, but ladies like tall.
6'8" is Kyle Korver.
Yeah, but 7'1's taller. You know what they say about taller?
Yes, duck through doorways. I don't know.
You ever watch him step under Kawhi Leonard? Do you see that foot size?
Jeez. Oh my goodness. I'm not even going anywhere with this.
I knew you wouldn't. How to win an argument 101. Go to levels that other people won't go to.
We're going to transition real quick to college basketball since you kind of brought it up there. There's a lot of good games actually this weekend. It's been a struggle on our afternoon show, Weekend Sports Kickoff, to actually find games that are worthy of talking about and picking. So he's like, well, there's one ranked matchup and then there's a bunch of duds.
How did I do last week? How'd you?
Well, I don't even remember what you picked. I didn't keep track.
The games that you guys picked.
I went 4-1 the last 2 weeks, so I'm back to 500. Let's go.
Actually, I think I picked 2 weeks ago, and I definitely missed the Oklahoma game because Texas beat them.
Yeah, that's the game I got. The only game I got wrong 2 weeks ago was I picked Oklahoma to beat West Virginia in the second game, and West Virginia won. So
Oklahoma lost them both.
Yep.
I picked them to win both of them. I know that.
So, but I went 4-1 in back-to-back weeks after starting. The first week I went 2-3, then I went 0-5, then 4-1, 4-1. So I'm starting to get my feet under me now. But this weekend, even Texas Oklahoma is a decent matchup again, even though we're not picking that one. We're picking number 3 Villanova at number 4 Xavier. That's a good game to pick.
Is Villanova 3 still? No, they'll move down.
They'll move down after next week. Yeah. But right now they're ranked 3rd. So
they're still a really good team.
Number 20 West Virginia at number 13 Kansas. Another good game to pick.
Yeah, Kansas will win that one.
Of course, North Carolina Louisville, we're not picking that game, but it's still a decent game. On Sunday, Ohio State number 8 at number 22 Michigan.
I think Ohio State will win that. Ohio State's pretty good actually, which I did not see coming at all.
The Ohio State.
Stop.
And then number 12 Duke at number 11 Clemson, which I didn't realize Clemson was ranked 11th until I looked this week. I'm like, why is? I didn't realize that football season was still going on with Clemson being highly ranked. And then the last one, Wichita State number 19 at number 5 Cincinnati.
Go Shockers!
I want the Shockers to win, but I picked Cincinnati.
Yeah, I would too.
Cincinnati also just lost to Houston, so they're kind of angry on Sunday, whatever it is. So a lot of ranked teams went down this week, actually, last night. Let's see, Cincinnati lost at Houston. Number 6 Purdue lost at Wisconsin. Ohio State, number 8, lost at Penn State. Number 15 St. Mary's lost at San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Nope, I don't care about any of those teams. I'm just looking at Nebraska. That's all I care about.
Nova lost at Providence on Wednesday.
No one cares. Okay, that's actually a really big deal.
Number 11 Clemson lost at Florida State. So
I feel like college basketball really is just all so even right now. Is more than, the good teams are not that great.
And if you play on the road, you have a good chance of losing.
Outside of Michigan State, who I think is really, really solid. Duke, who for the tournament is just so athletic that they'll be really solid.
Talented. They just need to play a little bit of defense.
Yeah. Kentucky might not make the tournament low-key. They're struggling hard. They probably will because they're Kentucky, but
they'll get it over Nebraska ball for no reason other than the name.
Yeah. No, the NCAA is like that.
Well, yeah, no one cares about the Midwest.
Fair.
Nebraska.
They finish out their season with Illinois, who's very not good, but Nebraska has to play on the road. So, they're 12-15, but they're averaging more points than they're giving up. So that means even though they have a losing record, all the games have been pretty close. Mm-hmm. They have Indiana, they're not great, but they're still Indiana, and then they have Penn State for the last game, who is pretty good actually. So
and Penn State just beat Ohio State. So.
Yeah, if they finish out the season with 3 wins, I think that.
Is that at Penn State or in Lincoln? Okay, it's a good chance for Nebraska.
Because I think they already beat Penn State at Penn State.
Oh, nice.
No, they lost by 2 in overtime. So
not a bad loss.
Yeah, Nebraska really doesn't have any bad losses. They just don't have any good wins. Actually, that's a lie. At the beginning of the year, they lost to somebody really bad. I can't remember who it is, but that's their bad loss.
Well, here's Kentucky's remaining. So they're 17-9, by the way. Their remaining schedule home versus Alabama, at Arkansas, home versus Missouri, home versus Mississippi, and at Florida. So that's their remaining schedule, and they're currently 6-7 in SEC play.
Yeah. See, Nebraska's beat. They lost to Purdue by 12. They lost to Creighton by quite a bit at the beginning of the year. Yeah, by 10. Lost to Kansas by 1 at the beginning of the year.
That's not a bad loss. So
No, lost Penn State by 2, Ohio State by 5, and they lost to that's all of them that I can see right now. They had a pretty bad loss at the beginning of the year. I can't remember who it is, like a mid-tier D1 school. So
all I know is Mizzou has at LSU versus Mississippi, at Kentucky, at Vandy versus Arkansas, and hopefully they get Mr. Porter back, and I'll be really happy.
If they get Michael Porter Jr. back, they could probably lose out and still make the tournament.
Yeah, because they'd be like, you know what, we kind of want this guy to be in the tournament to see him play, but I don't think they're going to lose out. But
I don't either.
Yeah.
I really like what Mizzou's done as a team without Michael Porter Jr. in to at least salvage a season.
It's been really impressive what they've been able to do. Let's say they have losses to St. John's and UCF earlier this year.
UCF, that's who beat Nebraska.
And really, St. John's looked like a bad loss until they beat Duke and Villanova in a 5-day stretch, and I was like, well, you know what, they play well.
And UCF, Nebraska plays a small ball lineup, and Taco Fall was just like, I am 7'5".
And UCF is 16-9 this year, so it's really not that bad of a loss.
Yeah, but they're 16-9 and not a great conference. I mean, it's not a good loss.
They're 5th in the American.
It's not like losing to Purdue or somebody like that.
That's fair.
Which literally the rest of Nebraska's losses are to teams of that caliber, outside of Penn State by 2. But Penn State's pretty good. They're probably better than UCF because they're 19-9 in the Big Ten. So
yeah. So and it was on the road.
And it was on the road.
So you can't really losing on the road is just one of those.
And we
things that
beat Michigan by 20. What do you want from us, committee? I just don't understand. I really do not understand the committee. There's a lot of teams that are like that, where it's like this team is obviously in, and then like this team that is really close to them is not in. It's like Michigan. We beat Michigan by 20 at home, and Michigan's ranked 23, and they're automatically in, and we have the same record. You're like, why? The difference, I think, is Michigan's beat Michigan State, and we did not beat anyone like that. So
quality wins really help in that regard.
If we would have just beat Kansas at the beginning of the year instead of blowing it, we'd probably be in.
I'd be happy. I'm also a severe Kansas hater. So
I know you are.
Which is why I took West Virginia this week to beat Kansas.
Kansas really does have a lot of holes, though.
Yes. Like, I know a couple weeks ago I picked K-State to beat Kansas at K-State.
That wasn't smart.
I'm like, yeah, they're at home. They almost beat Kansas on the road. Let's go for it.
Yeah, it's when like I said last time, I think,
Yeah.
It's when Kansas beats them by 20 at home, and you're like, all right, now they got that slip-up game.
I was hoping. It was more of a hopeful prediction than it was actually like actual analysis for that one. But I was fine with it. I had a game to give. I'm tied for first place in our picks right now at 10-10, which is how weird college basketball is.
Yeah.
The fact that anybody in our pick them as 500 is ridiculous.
You're just saying that to give you a little self-promotion
yes,
right now.
I am. Yes, I am right now. Well, the fact that I started 2-8 and now I'm back at 10-10, I feel really
Okay,
good
that's
about.
kind of impressive.
I feel really good about. And we're only picking the best games I can find every week in quotations.
Right, so which 5 are you picking this week?
I
I know you had Villanova and Xavier. I'll take Xavier at home.
mean, look, I got to remember exactly my pick. I don't want to mislead the public here.
I'm
picking Xavier.
It's really exaggerative to call the 7 people listening right now the public, but okay.
I don't want to mislead them, okay? I'm taking West Virginia to beat Kansas. That's my risky pick of the week.
I'll probably take Kansas in that game.
I'm taking Ohio State to win at Michigan. I hate picking road teams.
Yeah. I'll take Michigan. That helps Nebraska if they win, so I'm just going to go with it.
And a part of this is, as you said earlier, I like to poke at people. One of our co-hosts this week is a big Michigan fan, so I made sure to put in our group chat, I'm taking the Ohio State, and then he wanted to kill me, so that was great.
Yeah, you do poke at people.
Because then he put in the group chat right after that, he said, Michigan, go blue, so I think he's taking Michigan. So what other game? Yeah, so I'm taking...
I hate Ohio State too, so...
I'm taking Duke at Clemson.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll take Duke. Duke's so talented. I cannot pick against them against any team this year except for maybe Michigan State.
Then taking Cincinnati at home against Wichita State.
I'd pick Cincinnati too.
So I'm taking 3 road teams, which really scares me.
Yeah, but one of those will lose probably.
Yeah, most likely. So I'm just kind of going out there on a limb. So we're all getting a lot better at college basketball picks in our afternoon show. Like, we all went at least 3-2 last week. And early in the year, we like the best one someone did one week was like 1-4, and everybody else was like 1-4, 0-5. So
The thing about college basketball is eventually coaching takes over. And usually, like, that's why you see teams like Kansas, Duke, Michigan State struggle some at the beginning of the year.
North Carolina,
Not so much Duke. No, not North Carolina.
you just hate Roy Williams.
I do not like him, but they do not necessarily progress from the beginning of the year to the end of the year as dramatically as the teams I just mentioned.
Okay, that's fair.
Like Kansas literally at the beginning of the year could lose to 30 to like Northwest. And at the end of the year, they beat at least a good enough tournament team to win it. And you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Bill Self is just really, really good at what he does.
Yes, he is.
And so is Tom Izzo and Coach K. So
that's definitely Michigan State's always that team that gets tournament times. Like I don't know, like even if they're like a 7 seed, like you know what? I don't know how good they actually are, but they have Tom Izzo, and he can just win games
by himself. He doesn't even need players.
It's like I don't understand.
Tom Izzo could go out there by himself and win the game.
Like he's just really good. So
and now he has Miles Bridges.
That really helps.
Yeah,
he's really talented.
It's gonna be really hard for me to pick against them come tournament time.
Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult. So hopefully, we'll see what happens.
They have to play Nebraska in the second round.
But also the tournament this year. I know it's always crazy, but this year it's like I don't.
No, the perfect bracket. You might as well sit at $1 trillion this year.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Like there's just too many crazy things that happen before the tournament even starts. Watch this year be like the most like chalk tournament ever.
Literally, the whole thing is just higher seed every time.
We'll be like, well, my Aunt Sally got that right, so that's great.
You know what's probably going to happen actually this year? This will be the year that a 16 beats a 1. I could totally see it. The ones outside of Duke and Michigan State, the ones are not that high.
No, they're not that great this year, the 1 seeds. And one thing that I remember seeing is they released the top 16 seeds if they were done today or whatever it was when they did that. I can't remember where it was at. I know the NCAA released it, so I'm going to try to find it real quick. Here, as we're going to stall just for a second. Actually, I think I might have it on here. Sorry, give me a second here. This is really bad radio.
No, it's not. This is great. People love this.
This is fantastic. I'm searching for stuff because I look like I'm unprepared now, but I swear I was ready for this, and now I can't find it.
Doesn't sound like you're exactly ready for it.
I don't want to hear it from you.
All right, I'm calling this right now. Are you ready? On the record. If Virginia gets a 1 seed, they will lose to a 16 seed.
I found it, by the way. The 1 seeds.
Because they're right on the cusp. They could be a 1 or a 2 right now.
Okay, now I found it, I think. So, yeah, here we are. The 1 seeds would be Virginia, Villanova, Xavier, Purdue. 2 seeds would be Auburn, Kansas, Duke, Cincinnati. 3 seeds would be Clemson, Texas Tech, Michigan State, North Carolina, Tennessee, Ohio State, Arizona, Oklahoma would be the 4 seeds. The fact that Michigan State is a 3 seed.
They won't be. After they beat Purdue, they'll move up quite a bit.
Yeah.
They didn't really have any big wins until they beat Purdue.
They beat up on North Carolina earlier this year.
That's not a great win this year.
They beat them by almost 20, though.
It's still not a great win. North Carolina somehow has 7 losses, but they're like borderline 4 seed. I'm like, Nebraska has 8 losses and they're not in the tournament.
It's the Roy Williams factor.
It's the name factor. It's so stupid.
The fact that Kansas is a 2 seed is ridiculous.
Yeah, Kansas has a lot. They have the most Tier 1 wins of any team by like 3, though.
I just see so many issues with this Kansas team. Like this is not just me being a hater. It's like they live and die completely by the 3.
Along with 90% of America.
I know, but it's like to the extreme. Like Bill Self does not sound like normal Bill Self this year. We're talking about this team.
Well, because they're not good.
And they still might win the Big 12, which is just frustrating that the Big 12 just can't sack up and take Kansas 1 year for the conference tournament.
I know. It's going to take Texas Tech to do it. And who trusts Texas Tech?
I trust one person from Texas Tech. His name is Patrick Mahomes.
Fair. But I don't think he's on the college roster, so.
Just his presence of supporting the team might just be enough. They'll score a lot of points. I'm not sure about the defense, but they'll score a lot of points.
Fair. Mahomes doesn't seem like he'd be a good defensive guy. I feel like if he played basketball, he's for sure pulling up from deep and not getting back.
He's definitely doing the Kevin Love long outlet pass.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's too long. It's like he's like, you got to go longer. He's like, I'm out of bounds. You're like longer.
Yep, so that's going to be it for our show this week. We'll see you again next Friday. Make sure you check out our other shows, of course, for Weekend Sports Kickoff from 2 to 5 p.m. here on KZLX.
If you want to listen to 3 more hours of Devin being wrong, go ahead and listen to the Weekend
I won't
Sports
talk
Kickoff.
the whole time. I'll let other people talk.
Hour and a half of Devin being wrong. I want you to talk about Paul Pierce being overrated in that show and see what they say.
Well, we have NBA talk for the last hour, so.
Bring it up. I want to know how that goes.
Well, usually Perry's on that show, and he's a Lakers fan, so I got to tell him that Kobe's overrated.
That's also stupid. Please tell me you're just saying that to poke.
Kobe's last game was overrated.
That's fair. He took like 50 shots.
Yeah, had 60 points. Yeah, he shot 50 shots. I don't want to hear it.
No, yeah, but it's his last game, and Kobe had a career that he deserved something like that if you're out of playoff contention.
He had the typical Kobe game for his last game, and it just drives me insane.
He did not. Okay.
That was a typical Kobe game.
If you look at his career, he did not take 50 shots to score 60 points at any point. He took 50 shots to score 80 points, and that's a big difference.
What I'm saying is he shot a lot of shots and a lot of bad shots at times. I know it's Kobe, so they're actually not bad shots. As you said, if it goes in, it's not a bad shot, which I hate that when you say that, but I can't say anything back to it. It's like
if it goes in, it's a good shot. It really is. It still doesn't make it a good shot selection, but it is a good shot. Because you made it. You got points. What's the objective of the offensive possession, Devin?
I hate you.
To get points? That's what I thought.
I hate you. But yeah, I just get tired. Maybe the part of the whole Kobe thing is because he's always like, well, he was actually better than LeBron. Like, no, not really. But that's the point where I get people tired of arguing that still when that argument's been dead for a while.
It's still alive. Kobe's better than LeBron.
You're an idiot. You don't even believe that.
I believe it.
No, you don't.
Wholeheartedly.
You do not believe that a single bit.
I believe that LeBron's a borderline top 20 player of all time.
Top. Okay, now you sound like Rob Parker.
No, what did Rob... Oh, yeah, Rob Parker said that Tom Brady's officially not the GOAT, so I do not sound like Rob Parker because I completely disagree with everything.
Yeah, because pretty much because Tom Brady lost his third Super Bowl in 8 appearances. All of a sudden he's not. It's like, what? I don't... Like, I'm not a big Tom Brady fan, but it's like you can't say that he's not the most accomplished. Like,
he's the greatest of all time.
I mean, you can't say... I get that Montana was 4-0. That's his biggest thing against LeBron, too. Like, well, LeBron was 3-5, and MJ was 6-0. I'm like, yeah, but he's been to 8.
That's not my argument. I just think Michael Jordan was...
That's his biggest thing, like, for everything. And he's a big nostalgia guy. Like, everything in the 90s and the 80s was better than it is today. And he just
That's when I use the old Steve Kerr argument because people jump higher, run faster, and are stronger than they were.
He just drives me insane with the stuff that he says on Fox Sports 1.
You know what, though? If you come in to poke fun at Skip Bayless a time or two, I don't mind you.
That's fair.
Rob Parker comes in a lot when they talk about the Cowboys, and he's like, the Cowboys suck. And I'm like, I can't hate you. Like, I don't necessarily agree with a lot you say, but...
That's like the one topic. It's like, yeah, they're not... I hate the whole America's team with the Cowboys, but...
Rob Parker's like... I hate Skip Bayless. I'm like,
because what do you say? Like, what do you say? The others like the Cowboys have more playoffs wins than like these teams in the last 20 years, like the Bills, the Browns, the Bengals. He's like, and they're tied with the Chiefs. So I'm like, oh, don't say that.
No, don't bring us into this.
I'm like,
leave us out of this.
Like, but you did say the Chiefs were a decent franchise, though. So I'm like, okay. I mean, we have one playoff win in the last 20 years, but thank you for making me feel a little better about myself.
All right, here's the real question. Are you ready?
What's the question?
If the Chiefs go to the playoffs and lose in the first round again this year, or first game, saying they have a bye, is Andy Reid on the hot seat?
If they get a bye, they lose in the first.
Okay, not if they get a bye, but if they lose in the first round again, let's say they get second in the division, wild card spot.
Depends on where they play at.
Jacksonville. At home against Jacksonville.
At home against Jacksonville, and we're actually healthy. And we lose, yeah, I could see an argument. I could see where Andy Reid would be on the hot seat. But, like, if you go into that game and, like, Barry and Houston are both out. And Kelsey's
Barry and Houston are both out. I'm going to fight the medicine gods, whatever you want.
Okay, I just want to say this real quick. The idiots in Kansas City that are saying if we cut Houston, we'll save $15 million against the cap in the post-June thing. You don't cut your best player
to
save $15 million to
You cut Alex Smith to save $17 million. You don't cut Justin Houston. Wrong.
It's like you don't, because if you cut Justin Houston and save that $15 million, you're going to use that $15 million to find a player like Justin Houston. So you're pretty much just circling around. It's like I don't understand. Like I mean,
if you can somehow convince Justin Houston to restructure, fine. But you're not going to because he's like the top pass. He's one of the top 5 pass rushers in the league.
And he's like, he only had 9.5 sacks. I'm like, look at the scheme. He was dropping back in coverage, and
he wasn't full healthy. You could tell for parts of the year.
And there are certain points in games, if you're a pass rusher, you won't get the sack, but you will affect the play by just getting pressure on a Kirk Cousins or deflecting a Carson Wentz pass that's picked off by Chris Jones.
Was it the Buffalo game where Justin Houston just destroyed against the run, too? Like, we didn't have any run defense except for Justin Houston. And if they ran to Zombo's side, they go 7 yards of carry, and they run to Houston's side, and you're like,
the first game of the year when he made the right tackle for the Patriots look like a JV tackle. That was really impressive. Like, Justin Houston is still probably one of our best, or at least our top 3 defensive player, along with Barry and Peters.
Peters.
Because
Peters just makes me really mad.
He just makes big impact plays while he's up there. I mean,
he also makes really stupid plays.
He's a corner.
Also, if you ran
a corner, is what he does.
If you ran an out and a fly and pump fake the out, you could throw the fly every single time if Peters was on him.
Double move.
No, you don't even have to do a double move because he's literally playing zone while he's playing man. Just fake the out route. And have the other guy just run a fly. Tutties. Don't get any ideas, teams playing the Chiefs.
Yeah, so I don't understand. Like, I get the Derek Johnson thing. Like, I wish we would have brought Derek Johnson back. I think he was going to take a lower deal for the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs wanted to get younger, just move on to the future. I understand
the
both
Chiefs
sides
could
of that.
still get him back, but I think Derek Johnson should go to a team.
The way he sounds, not like he's coming back. It sounds like he's pretty much saying farewell to Kansas.
Yeah, but I just don't think there's going to be much of a market for him, and he might want to come back to what's familiar. I don't know.
You mean a 35-year-old middle linebacker with 2 Achilles injuries?
Yeah. That. But I think that there will be a few teams, maybe like the Colts, that are like starting a new culture that
Chris Ballard's over there.
They don't really want. They know that they're not going to compete really necessarily right off the bat, especially with not knowing how Andrew Luck's shoulder is. And bring in someone like Derek Johnson for culture, to teach the young players how to play. And he probably won't play a lot of downs necessarily, but like just to be an on-field coach
locker
for those
room
people.
Presence almost, yeah. So that'd be a good thing. I think Taba Hawley gets cut to save almost $8 million.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
to cut a guy who is no longer healthy or productive
or good,
not your best pass rusher and front 7 player.
Well, if we cut Johnson, Hawley, don't match a Ford deal, which is probably going to be about 9.
Ford's still on roster this year.
Is he really? Okay, then cut Ford.
It's $8 million.
Yeah, cut Ford.
8.175 or something.
And so, what was Johnson? Johnson was 5, right?
It was 5 or 6, something like that.
Yeah, so that Smith was 17, then plus the 2 8s and the 5. That's like $30 million.
Yeah.
No, that's
and
like $40 million.
And Fuller's on a very minimum deal. You get a draft pick.
Yeah.
Been a pretty good offseason for Kansas City, I think.
Save $38 million.
And I think there's some people saying about Parker in the secondary, cutting him too.
I would not be mad about that either.
Yeah, but if you cut him, you either got to draft a guy or play Daniel Sorensen.
I feel like you got to draft a guy either way.
That's
even
fair.
If you keep Parker. Because
we should just play Daniel Sorensen more in the nickel and play him as Eric Berry.
I don't mind when Daniel Sorensen comes in and Eric Berry's in because then he plays a normal role. But when Daniel Sorensen comes in for Eric Berry and then he plays Eric Berry's role, you're like, one of these things is not like the other.
You see the weaknesses in his game very quickly.
Yes. All of them. All the weaknesses.
Bob does not see them.
No strengths.
Bob does not see it. Mr. Sutton.
Well, Bob can't see. He's old and senile.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. The draft's still 10 weeks away. One reason I know that is because we graduate in 10 weeks. And it's the same weekend. For
real, our defensive coordinator should be in a nursing home. I don't know how that makes me feel.
You're so mean. It's so true, though. Also, Kansas City was named one of the draft host finalists for 2019 and 2020.
Yeah, so we can all go there and boo the crappy picks they make. Yeah.
Also with Cleveland/Canton, Tennessee, Denver, and Las Vegas. I think Vegas gets one.
Yeah,
one of them.
I think Canton might get one of them, too. We might be out for that.
It'd be fun if Chiefs could possibly get it.
I'm going to boo everything.
I mean, if Cleveland gets it, they get the number 1 pick, so like every year.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll – I don't know. I don't think doing it in Cleveland would be very cool.
But like Cleveland
sucks.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, but Canton is cool because it has the Hall of Fame.
And Cleveland is not.
Cleveland has the Hall of Shame.
So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see where Kansas City would even hold it. I think Union Station is what people are saying there. Maybe KCP.
That'd be pretty cool, too.
So definitely some
I think they should have it in Maryville. Lock it down.
Applebee's get pretty busy. A&G.
Applebee's would like it. And all the restaurants would
Carson's,
like it.
Yep, all of them. All of them here in town.
I think we should host it at Carson's.
We're just gonna stick with the coaches show for Carson's for Beckett Radio Network. I think that's what
No,
we're gonna
the
stick with.
NFL draft's the next step.
Next step, move up a little bit. Want to remind you, we have baseball down in Oklahoma this weekend versus Cameron University. So good luck to the baseball team next 3 days. And tomorrow, also track is in Lincoln, Nebraska for the Nebraska Tune-Up.
Oh yeah, let's go.
And then, of course, basketball tomorrow, 1:30 and 3:30 for the women and men senior day.
Show up, show out.
As you got Melee and Tanya Meyer for the women's game. You're going to honor them before the game and then honor Justin Pitts, Chris Ibuendow, Xavier Kurth, and Brett Doherty before the men's game at 3:30. So should be a fun Saturday here in Maryville for some basketball. So we're going to go off now. We're about 14 minutes over time because that's what we do. So Paul Pierce, the conclusion of the show is Paul Pierce is overrated.
That is not the conclusion of the show. That is the conclusion of Devin's delusional thoughts.
It is a consensus.
Oh, dude, I just thought of a new segment.
What?
Devin's delusional thoughts.
I don't know if we can. Yeah, we can. But we can probably fill a whole segment with that.
Yeah, I know we could.
Like, what else? What else do I say that's delusional?
Well, if you just let me record for a day, I'm sure I can fill some airtime.
Like what? I don't know what you're talking about here.
I don't know either, but I'm sure
So
that
you can't even think of stuff off the top of your head.
You still said Peyton Manning's better than Tom Brady. Delusional.
Better quarterback, not as accomplished.
No.
Not as accomplished.
No.
Not as accomplished. There's a difference between accomplishments like that, a team accomplishment, and then just being a better quarterback.
Yes, and Tom Brady is both.
No.
Devin's delusional thoughts.
I will go with that till my grave. I need to get that soundbite going. So, yeah, I don't.
That LeBron's better than Kobe. Devin's delusional thoughts.
Hot take alert.
I can't even say it. I can't.
So that's
Okay, that's legitimate. We'll give you that one.
wait, which one?
That LeBron's better than Kobe.
Well, yeah, duh.
Well, I was trying to act like I was still on
Yeah.
the Kobe side, but I couldn't do it for.
Yeah, you can. It's
I
just
couldn't
not
keep
possible.
a straight face. I watch basketball.
LeBron's like 1B of all time.
No, he's 2. He's 2.
1B. NBA's 1A.
As far as talent goes, I think he might be the most. But as far as greatness goes, I don't think it's as close as you think.
MJ was playing against janitors. Okay, I don't want to hear it. I'm kidding. The 90s weren't that bad.
Yeah, LeBron is playing against the East, so that's pretty much janitors,
It's a little harsh to Boston Celtics. You say I'm a Celtics hater. You just called the entire East trash, but they're in it. So
Yeah, you're right. LeBron has to go against last year. Who guarded LeBron?
Jay Crowder, who the Cavs just traded away.
Who was their best scorer? A 5'9" guy who cannot score anymore?
He averaged 30 a game last year and led the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. That's what I heard all of last year.
Well, yeah, but he's 5'9". I don't care how good you are. You're 5'9".
That's just what I heard all of last year.
Did you hear from me?
That's what I heard from everybody else.
Did you hear from me?
Heard from Jordan.
Well, yeah. Jordan's in love with Boston. You get those fan things where you get them. I'm not hating on that. Isaiah Thomas is still 5'9", though. Like, if the Celtics have to play the Warriors with that team, Klay Thompson's like, you will not score, and he will not score.
That's fair. Also, we saw last night on Twitter, Isaiah Thomas had a flashy pass for the Lakers. It looked
Not
like
so flashy.
It looked like a regular pass by anybody who is over 6'2", but since he's 5'8", it's flashy.
Also,
5'9", whatever he is.
it's getting later and later over the time.
Yes.
But we're just having some really awesome conversations. But next week, I'm coming in with Devin's delusional thoughts.
You're going to just make a list?
I'm going to make a list.
Make a list.
I'm checking it twice.
Can I add another one to your list? Washington will be better next year with Alex Smith at quarterback.
I don't know if that's delusional or not. Because they had the pieces to get better as they were getting better anyways. And now without paying Kirk $30 million a year.
Woo.
Yeah, after that Garoppolo deal, Kirk's going to get paid.
Yeah, I think Garoppolo is better than Kirk, but Kirk's going to be in high demand.
Yeah, and Kirk's deal should be higher than Garoppolo's.
That
Kirk has shown over his career more than
he is
Garoppolo.
a slightly above average quarterback, yes.
N-
The same tier as Alex Smith, yes.
mm.
Yes.
He has a higher ceiling than Alex Smith does, for sure. He's played in Washington, and Washington traded away everybody they had on offense this year.
They didn't trade anybody away. They just didn't re-sign anybody.
Okay, whatever. however you want to phrase it, they got rid of everybody that was good except for Jordan Reed, but then he was hurt like 90% of the time.
But they signed the spectacular receiver in Terrell Pryor.
The dude started the league as a quarterback.
It didn't help that Jordan Reed got hurt this year, so he had to play a 80-year-old.
And how many yards did he throw for? Like 5,000? Almost 5,000?
Not this year.
I had him on my fantasy team.
4,093.
That's not bad. Tell me when Alex Smith has overthrown for 4,093.
This year.
Okay, outside of that? Kirk's done like three times, and he's been in the league for like 4 years.
You just said name one time. I did.
Name 2 times.
You don't get to keep.
Last year was
you don't get to keep.
Okay, last year was his first 3,000-yard season.
No, you thrown for 3,500 yards the past 3 years before that, at least. I'm gonna look for sure before I start spouting stuff.
I don't think that's right.
Okay, he had thrown for, in his time in Kansas City, 3,300, 3,200, 3,486, which is pretty much 3,500, 3,502, then 4,042.
Okay, so last year was the first time he broke 3,500 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he threw for 4,042.
Okay, I know Kirk's thrown for like 45 with less talent than Travis Kelce.
No, that year he threw for 45, he did. He had Reed plus Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon. He had 3 legitimate receivers.
That's less talent than the Chiefs have right now. At receiver? Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I mean, that's the only 2 that are like super talented, but that 2 right there outweighs Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon.
And he had the Shanahan wasn't his coordinator at that time, but still, they were really good that year. Like, they were really good offensively that year, and
because of Kirk Cousins.
They had a good line.
They did have a good line. They do have a good line.
They threw for 4,900 that year. The past year, the line was trash. They all got hurt. 4,900 yards last year, 25 touchdowns, 12 picks.
Okay, so how many times has he thrown for over 4,000?
3.
How many times has Alex Smith done it?
Alex Smith wouldn't ask to.
How many times has he done it?
He wasn't asked to.
How many times?
Once.
That's 3 times better. I'm ending the show on that. Devin's delusional thoughts.
I just wanted to give you some more stuff for next week, so you have plenty of material. Like, you don't have some already.
Oh, yeah. The Chiefs can win a Super Bowl with Alex Smith. Devin's delusional thoughts.
I still believe that was possible. It was still possible.
I'm out. I can't handle this.
You can't handle it. You will take this. It's fine. We'll see you next week here on Friday Take.